What if I told you the people who walked away from you, the ones who ignored your presence, replaced your loyalty, and underestimated your value? What if I told you they don't just move on, they think they do, until one day it hits them quietly, unexpectedly, and deeply? Because regret doesn't come from what you say. It comes from what they can no longer reach. Not your time, not your attention, not your energy. See, most people make one mistake. They chase closure. They try to explain, prove, convince, hoping the other person will finally understand their worth. But that never creates regret. It creates comfort, and comfort makes you forgettable. Real regret? It's born in absence, in silence, in the moment someone realizes you're not there anymore, no late replies, no emotional reactions, no access to the version of you they once had. That's when it shifts. That's when curiosity turns into confusion. And confusion turns into regret. Because now, you're not the same person they left behind. You become someone distant, stronger, untouchable. And today, you're about to learn exactly how to become that person. Without saying a single word, let's get one thing clear. You don't make people regret losing you by forcing it. You don't do it by posting a highlight reel of fake happiness, or dropping subtle hints, hoping they'll notice, or trying to make them jealous with things that aren't even real, because people can feel that energy. And desperation, it doesn't attract, it repels. It tells them you're still emotionally available, still affected, still within reach. And when someone knows they can have access to you anytime, there's nothing to miss, nothing to lose. That's why the real power doesn't come from trying to control how they feel. It comes from mastering how you move, from shifting your focus away from them and putting it back on yourself, your growth, your discipline, your mindset. Because here's the truth most people avoid. No one regrets losing something that's still available to them. They only feel the loss when access is gone, when your presence is no longer predictable, when your energy is no longer invested, when your attention is no longer theirs to reach. That's when it hits. That's when they realize you didn't just walk away, you evolved into someone they can't get back. The first thing you need to do is disappear, not in a dramatic way, not to prove a point, and definitely not to play games, but strategically, intentionally, with purpose. Because right now, whether you realize it or not, they're comfortable knowing you'll reply, comfortable knowing you're still watching, comfortable knowing you haven't really gone anywhere. And that comfort, it kills curiosity, it kills respect, it kills any chance of them feeling your absence. So you change the pattern. You stop replying instantly. You stop checking their stories. You stop showing up in the spaces they expect you to be, not out of anger, but out of self-control. Because when your presence becomes predictable, it loses value. But when it disappears, it creates silence. And silence is powerful. It forces reflection. It creates questions. It builds tension in ways words never could. They start to notice. They start to wonder, why aren't they responding? Where did they go? Why does it feel different? And in that space, in that quiet, they begin to feel something they didn't before, the weight of your absence. That's where it begins. Now, this is where most people get it wrong. They feel the need to prove they've changed. They post more, they show off more, they try to make sure the right person sees their glow up. Don't. Because the moment you perform your growth, it loses its power. The strongest transformation is silent, unannounced, unforced. It's the kind that people don't see coming, So instead of focusing on being seen, focus on becoming. Work on your body, not for attention, but for confidence. Sharpen your mindset so you think differently, move differently. Build discipline so your actions match your goals. Level up your money so your lifestyle changes. Find your purpose so your life has direction beyond people. And do all of it quietly. No validation, no announcements, no need for approval. Because one day, without warning, they'll notice. Not because you told them, but because your energy is different. Your presence feels different. Your life looks different. And that's when it hits them the hardest. That while they were watching the same version of you, you became someone completely new. This one is the hardest because your mind won't stay quiet. It keeps replaying everything, every conversation, every moment, every detail, trying to find an answer that finally makes it make sense. Why did they leave? Did they ever really care? Was it something I did? And the more you chase those answers, the more stuck you feel. But here's the truth most people avoid. Closure doesn't come from them. It never did. Because even if they gave you an explanation, it wouldn't heal you. It would just give your mind something new to question. Real closure? It's a decision. It's the moment you stop asking why and start accepting what is. What happened, happened. What they chose, they chose. And you choose yourself. You choose to stop revisiting the past. Stop overanalyzing. Stop needing validation from someone who already let you go. Because the moment you no longer need answers, you become calm, grounded, in control. And that shift, it's powerful. Because now you're not chasing clarity. You're embodying peace. And when someone realizes that you moved on without needing anything from them, that's when it hits them. That's when the regret begins. Let me be real with you. In today's world, people move on fast. They find distractions fast. They replace connections fast. They convince themselves they're fine, fast. But regret doesn't show up in the beginning. It shows up later, when reality kicks in, when they start comparing and realize something important. What they lost in you isn't easy to find again. So if you really want to reach that level, you have to stop being easy to replace. That means no more average behavior, no more predictable reactions, no more emotional dependency on people who haven't earned it. You raise your standard. You become calm when others expect you to react. You stay focused when others get distracted. You protect your energy instead of giving it away freely. You walk away from nonsense without explaining yourself. And slowly, you become different. Not louder, not arrogant, not trying to impress. Just solid, grounded, rare. And that's when everything changes. Because now, when they look back, they don't just remember you. They feel the difference. They see the gap between you and everyone else. And that's when it hits them. They didn't lose something temporary. They lost someone they can't replace. Here's the final step, and the one most people avoid. You have to actually move on. Not the version where you say you're okay, but still check their profile at night. Not the version where you pretend you're healed, but still hope they come back. No. Real moving on is different. It's quiet. It's internal. It's a decision you make when no one is watching. It's when you stop looking for signs. Stop rereading old messages. Stop attaching your mood to what they're doing. Because as long as a part of you is still holding on, they can feel it. And as long as they can feel it, they know you're still there. But the moment you let go for real, everything shifts. Your energy changes. Your focus sharpens, your peace becomes real. And here's the truth. People feel absence more than presence. So when your energy is no longer tied to them, when your attention is no longer available, when your name no longer shows up in their world the same way, they feel it. Not instantly, but deeply. Because now, you're not just gone. You're gone for real. And that's when the silence becomes loud. And the regret becomes undeniable. So the next time someone walks away from you, pause. Don't react out of emotion. Don't chase what's already choosing distance. Don't beg for attention that should have been given freely. And don't waste your energy trying to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see it. Instead, shift. Level up quietly in your habits, in your discipline, in your mindset, in your self-respect. Because real power isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need an audience. And it definitely doesn't need approval from the past. It's built in silence and revealed through presence. And if one day they come back, curious, confused, maybe even regretful, don't rush to open the door. Don't go back to who you were. Don't ask them, "Why did you leave me?" Ask yourself something more important. Do they even deserve access to the person I've become? Because by that point, you won't be the same. You'll think differently, move differently, value yourself differently. And that's the real win. Because the goal was never to make them regret losing you. The goal was to outgrow the version of you that needed them to stay. To become someone so focused, so grounded, so aligned, that whether they regret it or not, doesn't change a thing in your life. That's freedom. That's growth. That's power. CTA, call to action. If this message hit you on a deeper level, drop a level up in the comments. And if you're ready to move different, think different, and become someone people can't forget, make sure you subscribe. Because this is just the beginning.